how clean do I want to clean this thing out?
Well, you saw how small those pieces of gold were?
Yeah. I need like a sponge to get the last bits out the bottom.
Yeah, it's actually one of the problems about being a male and becoming a prospector, is our wives see how well we clean our cracks.
Ah, well.
And say, why don't you do that at home? Well, in this video, going to a new spot, which is more off the beaten track than I normally do, but I've got a whole stack of helpers for this trip so they can carry all the gear. We've got a 250-meter hike that way to get to the river, and hopefully, because it's a little bit more remote, we'll get some good gold. Just filmed the intro, and I turned around and I saw this behind me, the downstream end of the aqueduct. And to save a whole stack of work of taking the aqueduct all the way up this gully, up there, they've had this steel pipe put across to carry the water through. So I've found evidence of this raceway further down the valley, but nothing as clear as this. This is really well preserved. But you know, it's just one of the other things that shows you're in a gold area. So 250-meter walk this way. Now, if we're really, really lucky, we might see a deer, but we'd have to be exceptionally lucky because of the gaggle of kids that are following along behind me. It's getting steeper and rougher. I'm glad I've got the crew to carry all the gear. Well, that was exciting. But there's the river in sight. We just got to get down there. How you doing, missus?
Good.
You having fun?
I am.
I'm so glad you came with us.
So am I.
The caravan's winding its way down the gully. I told Sarah that I'd carry the chair down the hill for her, and I'm now trying to convince her that carrying it down, because going downhill is more risky than going uphill, that carrying the chair downhill is a bigger act of love than carrying it up. But I don't think Sarah's convinced. Are you ignoring me?
Yes, I am.
Don't jump. Don't jump. Jumping's bad.
Yeah, I told Angus off for jumping. He went, why? And I went, what happens if you didn't make it? And he went, oh.
What happens if you land and slip?
Oh.
That was the first time. First time I've ever done that. Right, we've made it to the river and got a small problem. Now, at the other end of this pool, there's a whole stack of bedrock down there. But the upstream side of this pool, we've just got masses of these mounds of different gravels, all undulating all over the shop. So, gonna go upstream a ways and see what we find. It's a dragon!
Yeah, Taylor is the one who catched it. He was drowning. Dad, do you want to have a hold of him?
I'd love to.
Mine. I found a big dragon with it.
It's very cold, which is why it's so still. Well, I'm glad no one saw that. I just ended up on my face. Oh, you heard it, did you? Damn, sprung. So we found a really good spot. It fits all the requirements. Good place for gold, but also a good place for the kids to play and the people who aren't prospecting to sit down and relax. So she can read her book. We're only here for a little while. It took us quite a while to find the spot, so we'll have a bit of a play and see how we go. But you see there's good 3 specks there.
There's
Clear?
another one there.
Yeah.
All right, and also watch see how as I'm moving, then they're not moving. All right, they're pretty heavy and they're stuck. And now look at that bigger piece that's just appeared in the top of the pile up the back.
Oh.
Ooh, that might be a picker.
I don't think so. Oh, but there's more. See there? That's all this here. And there's more again.
Wow.
And
That is...
look, lead.
Ah, I got a shotgun pellet.
Yeah. And there's another one.
So there's lead in there.
Yeah, shotgun pellet. They're made out of lead, so they're a round ball.
So someone's been firing a shotgun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but
your
it's all
dad...
been
Oh,
washed.
and look, that's a decent-sized garnet too.
Oh,
So when you see it,
What's
it's
that?
really obvious
Yeah.
when you get a decent-sized
It is.
piece.
Oh,
that?
there it all is. You can see all the bits just there.
Yep,
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
What's that?
it's a clear gem, which means it could be diamond, but it's more likely quartz.
Oh.
Okay. Now, there's been a lot of this trip.
There we go. What have you got?
No, it's a tiger leech. Just the one. Can't see any more, but that's why I got my socks in my pants. What we're going to do now is the guy, Luke and Alex have been digging in a crevice I set them up on. So we'll see if you've got any in there.
Yep.
If you don't, we're going to move you over to my hole.
Okay.
Because there's room for us both to work, and it's much easier to do a good job with one hole than it is on two separate holes. And if I've found, and this is the cool thing
something in there.
about working as a team, everyone does their own sample spot.
Yeah.
And then you find a good spot, and then you exploit it, because there's no way someone can do a whole hole by themselves.
Yes.
So much better to work together. So just giving Luke his first lesson on panning, and he's got it down to just the last little bit. So because you can't lose the gold, if it all ends up down here, you just start again and have another crack. There's quite a few black gems there, and I'm starting to see specks. Yeah, that's good. Right, now try and clean some of that up.
What happened?
That's off the top.
Yep.
You go deeper,
Yeah.
and you're going to get more.
Be more in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we rescue our tiny little bits with the silt,
Yeah.
you know, small container until we can...
I love the way he's assuming I've actually got a plan. I didn't actually think of that. Because normally I just throw mine in a bucket, but when I've got multiple people here and they want their own gold...
Oh, it's all right. We can just chuck it in the bucket.
if we can convince one of the kids to give up one of their Yabby buckets...
Oh, that might be
How clean do I want to clean this thing out?
Well, you saw how small those pieces of gold were?
Yeah. I need like a sponge to get the last bits out the bottom.
Yeah, it's actually one of the problems about being a male and becoming a prospector, is our wives see how well we clean our cracks.
Ah, well.
And say, why don't you do that at home? So I met Alex and Luke, 𝙏𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤 and Naomi when they turned up where we were camping, and my kids just ran up to them straight away and said hello. And we just got chatting, and the kids were really keen to come out and find some gold. Unfortunately, I haven't put them on a very good spot, and while they've found some nano dots, they haven't really found anything that we can sort of put aside for them. But, you know, it's their first go. And so I think next time I do this with a brand new person, I'll do things a little differently. Now, before this got cleaned up, we didn't know how deep this crevice was. And I was thinking, okay, it's not that big. It could be relatively shallow, but it's a good, nice, easy one to clean, and they'll get some, you know, a little bit of color, and then they give them a go at something else. In hindsight, I probably should have picked a better spot for them, but it's, oh well, never mind. Anyway, my hole over here is kind of the same sort of feature. It's just deeper. And I got down to the decomposing bedrock, which is in between these two layers of the hard stuff, which is why there's a trough here. It's not very deep. It's just a few inches below the water. But it has obviously been better at collecting the gold than that little shallow one. Now, if we had more time, what I'd be doing is get them in here and we would work together extending this trench across the river. But we're out of time, so it's time to go. So I hope they've had fun, even if they haven't found much gold. Of course, one of the other reasons I've found more gold than them is that they have done 2 pans, whereas I've done 4 buckets. So volume matters. Did you enjoy your prospecting trip?
I did. I had a lovely read.
How was your book?
When I wasn't chasing children.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I certainly enjoyed the trip. Getting out on the river is a lot of fun, and it's very therapeutic, especially when you've got, you know, a head like mine. But getting out with people and enjoying their company and enjoying time with the kids, that's priceless. So stay tuned for the next video. The way these are coming out at the moment is a bit disjointed. The last video I did on this channel was where I found my first nugget, which is really cool. But I went back to that spot today and I found 2 more. So stay tuned for that video coming up soon.